we start this theory, just going to give a big thank you to Mob of War. Your hell of a long comment about my mistake of curly being recessive and the fact different hair color not normal to our world is actually just basically a different set of natural hair color gave me some ideas. So starting next theory, I'm going to take these things into account and make a hair color chart for the second set, with the most common hair color being blue parallel to our real world brown. Why next time? Because it more than likely won't have any effect on Noir because her hair is her mother's color, and also tell me if you think it's a good idea to go back to Severin, Inigo, and Brady and redo them again. If not, if you guys are fine with my mistakes in those videos, I'm just gonna leave them as is. Or if you want me to redo them, I will in a short, quick shot, I suppose. And with that being said, cue intro! I'm Light Melody, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Theory. The game is Awakening, and the child unit we will be looking at today is Noire. She's the daughter of Tharja, the Dark Mage from Plagia, and also Robin's Stalker. Today, we're gonna figure out who has the most bravery to go and marry Tharja. And remember, we're sticking to real-life genetics as much as we can, so right off the bat, I will say, since Noire's hair is black, just like her mother's, anyone can be her father this time around. Alright, Tharja, let's see who you're compatible with. Frederick, Virion, Stahl, Vike, Gillum, Donald, Lonku, Ricken, Gaius, Gregor, Libra, and Henry. Henry, Virion, Donald, and Libra are out since we already cleared them in the previous theories. But we don't have to cut out the usual for this time since Noire's hair is black. So for now, Frederick, Stahl, Gillum, and Lonku get to stay. But now we're gonna narrow this group down more by looking at their classes and compare them against Noire's and Tharja's. Now in this case, both Tharja and Noire's classes are the same but in different orders. Tharja is a dark mage with her other classes being knight, which is a bit random. Someone please explain that to me. And then archer. Noire starts as an archer, and then knight, and then dark mage. Most people would wonder why Noire is an archer and not a dark mage like her mother. But this has to do with the fact that the Tharja in her timeline actually used Noire as a test subject for her curses. Noire even tells us that her father was also a victim of this sometimes when he couldn't stop Tharja from doing this to her. With this in mind, we can assume that magic, or more than likely dark magic, is the thing Noire is afraid of the most. Kind of like a fear. For example, I hate heights. Therefore, I hate taking airplanes. Or riding on roller coasters because of that fear. And also the fact I kind of have a fear of death. And large bodies of water. Anyway. Noire's fear is magic, so she instead picked up a bow and arrow to avoid using magic in any way possible. Yes, she does know magic, but not to the extent of her mother. So magic users will not necessarily matter as much in the terms of classes as everyone else, but let's take a look. Frederick has Cavalier, Knight, and Waven Rider. Stahl has Cavalier, Myrmidon. It's Myrmidon. Stahl has Cavalier, Myrmidon, and Archer. Vike has Fighter, Thief, and Barbarian. Gillum has Knight, Thief, and Priest. Lonku has Myrmidon, Thief, and Waven Rider. Ricken has Mage, Cavalier, and Archer. Gaius has Thief, Myrmidon, and Fighter. And Gregor has Mercenary, Barbarian, and Myrmidon. Oh god, that's a lot to go through. So from this, Vike, Lonku, Gaius, and Gregor are out as they have nothing in common with either Tharja or Noire, and leaving us with Frederick, Stahl, Gillum, and Ricken. First time for Frederick, Stahl, and Gillum to get this far, and the third for Ricken now. Next, let's compare the growth rates for Tharja and Noire. Tharja is better than Noire in HP, magic, as expected, skill, speed, and defense. Noire outclasses her mother only in strength and resistance, with luck being the same for both. With this in mind, her father is either weaker than Tharja in either all, or some of these rates that she surpasses Noire in. First up, Frederick compared to Tharja. Frederick is better than Tharja in HP, strength, skill, and defense, weak in magic, speed, and resistance, and luck being the same. The fact he's weaker in magic and speed matches with Noir. Second, Stahl to Tharja. Stahl has a higher HP, strength, skill, luck, and defense. He's weaker in magic, speed, and resistance. He matches Noir with a higher strength and weaker magic and speed. Next, Keelam to Tharja. Keelam is better in HP, strength, skill, and defense, weaker in magic, speed, luck, and resistance, in common with Noir with higher strength and weaker in magic and speed. And last, Ricken to Tharja. He's better in skill, luck, and resistance, but weaker in HP, strength, magic, speed, and defense. The only things in common with Noir are being better resistance, but weaker in HP, magic, speed, and defense. Frederick has 2 in common, Stahl and Keelam have 3 in common, and Ricken has 5 in common with Noir. We can say Frederick is out due to having the least in common with Noir. And due to Stahl and Keelam having the same in common with Noir, let's also take a look at her physically, just like we did with Brady. Noir looks to be a petite girl compared to Tharja. Since not a lot of Fire Emblem characters have full bios besides some birthdays, if Tharja and Noir were to stand straight side by side, I would guess Noir is shorter than Tharja, heels or not. From Noir's supports with Brady and Yarn, we know she is anemic, a condition where someone doesn't have enough red blood cells, or they are dysfunctional, which causes the person to be easily fatigued and passed out if they do not rest enough. Anemia can happen due to many reasons. A few examples are that it was inherited from one of the parents, a lack of iron in the body, a vitamin deficiency, or bone marrow problems. I don't believe Noir got this from her mother. Looking at Keelam, Stahl, and Ricken, I would just say Keelam may not be a candidate for having anemia. That, and Keelam's apparently the tallest person in Crom's army, and if we suspect Noir is shorter than Tharja, we can also count him out on that note, leaving us with Stahl and Ricken. Stahl could have anemia, as one can get it due to a poor diet, and Stahl is always eating something. Ricken could have it as well due to him being fatigued most of the time. One time we can point this out is in his support with Cordelia. Though Noir having anemia could just be due to her mother using her for tests, but let us assume one of them carried this, but it isn't really visible. We know in Noir's timeline her father is sometimes a victim of Tharja's experiments, and with these two, I can see them easily falling into those traps. To narrow this down to 1, we will now look at their supports with Tharja. First up, Stahl. Stahl gives a fig. What's a fig? To Tharja to eat since she wasn't eating anything on her plate in the mess hall. Tharja thought he was spying on her, but he pointed out it was a public place and that she always ate alone, so it was easy to notice. She thanked him and then he asked if she wanted more from his bag, but declined. She's a bit suspicious of Stahl's kindness, but when Stahl questions about what she just said, she puts it aside and asks him for a few locks of his hair, saying it's a custom amongst her people where they exchange them when making new friends, and Stahl falls for this. In the B support, he approaches Tharja, saying no one has heard of Tharja's custom, only for her to say that it is nonsense and pointing out she's a dark mage. Quickly, Stahl realizes Tharja might put a hex on him. She says it's nothing but a hex that will have him say nothing but the truth to her and, well, everyone else around him, unable to tell a lie. She asks him why he was being kind to her. Telling her he was only concerned about her, she quickly concluded if he was suspecting her as a spy for Plegia, only for Stahl to admit that he is worried Tharja is lonely since she is always by herself and didn't have any friends. Tharja joked she could make friends from the dead if she wanted, only for Stahl to slowly back away and then be told by Tharja she's apparently actually surprised he genuinely cared for her. Wow, Tharja. Don't know what to make of this. Now on to the A support. Stahl walks in on Tharja in the middle of divination. Asking what it is, she tells him she's looking into the future to see if they win the next battle. Stahl says it isn't a good idea, and when Tharja doesn't understand, he says if they know the outcome, either they will be overconfident and lose, or go in knowing they're gonna lose and not try to win at all. He even says he goes into every battle expecting he would lose. Thorja doesn't take this as the most inspiring thing in the world, but Stahl reassures her that he'd never let anything happen to his special friend. Thorja says that's a weird thing to say, and Stahl can't help but say what he means due to the hex still on him. And finally, in the S support, Stahl is training and Thorja is watching him. When he messes up, Thorja tries to comfort him, saying he'll get it eventually. He wants to get stronger, to be one of the best in Crom's army, and have Thorja like him. Thorja points out that his kindness and flightiness are his strong points, and she finds it oddly charming. Of all things, that's what makes him charming, Thorja? Really? Not the hair? I mean, look at that hair. I mean, it has to be magical to be like that. Anyway. When she says that, Stahl is surprised, and when she confirms she actually means it, Stahl asks her to marry her since he actually does like her scary and tough nature, and if he lied about wanting to marry her, he would probably die from Thorja's curse. Only, Thorja removed it from him days ago, and Stahl had the power for a while to not tell the truth. It was all in Stahl's head. That's mean, Thorja. Poor Stahl. Now, on to Thorja's support with Ricken. So Ricken comes up to Thorja to ask her to teach him hexes and curses. Thorja says, well, more like joke, about if someone stole his lunch money and he just wants to get payback. Ricken stated he wants to learn new skills, and Thorja says it's a difficult and dangerous thing to learn, but he might be able to do it. However, she ultimately says no. Ricken is upset, and Thorja states it isn't something that can just be picked up like a hobby, and that he should focus on something else, and Ricken leaves still upset. Then in the B support, Ricken is following Thorja around until she teaches him. Thorja threatens to put a curse on him to teach him. Ricken says that's a great idea and prepares himself for it. Only for Thorja to say he's persistent and then sighing fine. Ricken asks if she's going to teach him, which Thorja says no, only to explain her own powers isn't fully developed and shouldn't be teaching anyone. Even if she is a dark mage, her own training isn't complete either. She has many things left to learn, and she doesn't like mistakes, which is why she barely tests new curses and why she's behind in her own training. Ricken points out the best way to learn things is to test and witness the mistakes. This gives Thorja the idea to go in the forest alone at night and test all the things she knows. Ricken asks to come along since it was all his idea, and she says she'll think about it. Really, Thorja? The A support shows us Thorja teaching Ricken his first curse. However, he doesn't know who to cast it on. So, Thorja suggests he use it on her, since she would know if he did it right, and no one in camp would volunteer on their own anyway. So, Ricken casts his first spell on her, and it works. Ricken cheers in joy, only for Thorja to cheer back. Surprised he used a happiness curse to make someone happy, while Ricken was surprised someone made nice curses. Thorja explained hexes can bring joy or horror depending on the victim, so even a nice curse can be devastating to someone. Though Ricken thinks Thorja is actually a nice person, even if she does look creepy, Thorja states she likes the way she is, and that no one should ever know that she acted happy or smile. After that, Thorja said she'd teach him some more simple hexes. Lastly, F support, which to me seems a bit odd. Most of Ricken's are odd. I will say that now. So, Ricken and Thorja are still working on curses. Thorja has learned more about her own magic and is able to focus better, but she thinks Ricken can continue learning on his own. However, Ricken thinks that they will both learn more if they were together, and by together, he means marriage. He takes out his family heirloom ring, telling Thorja that he was told to give it to the woman he was going to marry, and that he was also coming of age soon. Thorja agrees that they make a good team and that maybe she can make him a little more evil, leaving Ricken to guess if that means yes or no. I'm with you there, buddy. I don't know what Tharja is thinking. And I don't know if she means yes or no, so in all honesty, after looking at both of these supports, I think Stahl fits better as Noir's father. Not that I don't see both of them falling into Tharja's traps as guinea pigs. I think Stahl fits better. And the reason for this is because, well, first of all, yeah, he's easily manipulated just a bit. I mean, he's not a total idiot, but he can get caught just a bit, yeah. Second of all, Ricken. Ricken in this support is learning about hexes and curses, and by the time little Noir is born, I'm pretty sure he'd be a very, very good mage. And with being a very good mage, that means he can probably easily dispel any hex or curse that Tharja puts on both him and Noir. That kind of would take away, the whole backstory that Noir has of being a guinea pig and her father being a guinea pig. Because Ricken could quite possibly be able to dispel all of them. That I'm not sure if it is a loophole, but Ricken would at least do that. He'd probably find a way to do that because he learned it from Tharja. So, officially, yeah, Stahl is Noir's father. So Stahl, you get to marry Tharja. Good luck with that, and keep her away from Robin. Both of them, please. Thank you. But it's the end of the theory, so you know what that means. Shipyard wheel. Alright, let's see who we have for next month, or in 2 weeks. And would you look at that? It's Cynthia, one of the members of the Justice Cabal. I'm pretty sure she's a lot of people's favorites because, Darkflyer, Gale Force, yeah, that totally wasn't the best combination in Awakening ever. So, Cynthia, actually, your timing is actually excellent, Cynthia, because your birthday is actually in a few weeks. So, for you being in the next one, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, I hope you guys enjoy this. If you want to see more of the theories, they're on my channel. If you want to check out what else I do song covers, and every now and again, impressions and fan dubs. Patreon's an option if you want to support the work that I do, and one of the rewards if you support enough is that you can actually pick out the next video that I create. Also, please check out the audio series, Ties of Fate, on the Harmony Net Studios channel. I'm the head writer for the first season of Ties of Fate, and I also voiced about 5 characters on it, so if you want to see more of my fabulous voice acting, head on over there. So with that, I hope you enjoyed and have a nice day.